Welcome to this audio theatre presentation. We hope you like what you're about to hear. So sit back, relax, because the show is about to begin.
Chapter 2.
Now, at the end of the night, when the day was dark and no more light, he shut the door and the bell did ring, and then happened a very awesome thing. When the bell on the door had rung its last, he walked down the cobbled drive. Rosie stretched, and then one by one, the toys, they came alive.
Did you see the faces? Those children! The way their eyes glimmered as they looked through the window tonight.
Raggedy Doll said, with a sad tone in her voice, as she pressed her face against the cold window pane.
Their faces were grubby, and their hands made marks on the window. Rosie, I do not understand why you would be excited about that. You are a strange little doll. You worry about the funniest of things. You are not refined at all. However, I am not sure we could expect a lot more from a doll made of all different fabrics, could we?
Ballet Doll commented, as she stretched into fifth position.
Oh, it seemed to take forever today for the shoppers to go. How I get backache standing so still. Oh, the shopkeeper doesn't seem to appreciate that joints get tired. And oh, how the shoppers would prefer to see me in a different ballet pose. I mean, the first position pose is just so toy shop ballerina. Does he not understand? I am a prima ballerina.
Teddy stretched and yawned as he heard the quiet tones of Rosie from the window, and Ballet Doll with her continual complaining from along the shelf.
Well, there you go, Ballet Doll. Clearly the shopkeeper has you just right. A first-class ballerina should surely be in the first position. Isn't that right, Tin Soldier?
Well, Teddy, my friend, that is a matter of opinion. Certainly wish she'd be one of the first of us to be sold. We may actually have some joy at under the shelves. If a certain young doll be wrapped and strung and taken out in a paper bag, joy to the world, the peace has come, and all the merriment.
Tin Soldier piped up with a cheeky grin as he glared at Ballet Doll, who was now powdering her nose in the toy shop window pane.
Well, thank you, Tin Soldier, my friend. Don't the evenings look beautiful with the snow and all the shoppers wrapped up like Eskimos and their little red noses peeking out from under their scarves?
I don't know why that would be beautiful,
remarked Tin Soldier.
Well, I know strange things delight you, my furry buddy. But all I can see coming from some of their little red winter noses is...
Tin Soldier, my friend, kindly remember that some things are best left unsaid. There are children listening in their cars.
And I am sure there are some strange-looking parents, too, in their cars obeying the speed limit and not at all getting distracted by our story.
Excuse me, mums and dads. My fine friend, Tin Soldier here, is just learning the art of audio CDs. He's new to this tale. Now, let's get back to the story.
Rosie sat quietly in the window, whilst the toys bantered on the back shelf of the toy store. Ballet Doll seemed uninterested in the two toys sarcastically remarking to one another, but Rosie's thoughts were racing through her mind.
At least you're all assured that you'll actually be sold. I'm here forever in the window,
she said as she bowed her head and her countenance fell.
Well, Rosie, look on the bright side. You get a room with a view for the rest of your life,
Ballet Doll commented.
Surely there is the perfect excuse that you can use for your faded parts and patches. At least you do not have to worry about your appearance. It must be so difficult not being an old toy, not being made of one material. On the other hand, it must save you hours in front of the mirror. You don't have to worry about your face looking good or your hair, as you are so unique. No one really knows what you are supposed to look like anyway. Your hair, it's always styled one way with that woolen look.
Rosie remained silent as tears started to roll down her fabric cheeks. As she twirled her plaited hair in her hand, realising that Ballydoll was right. Angel Doll looked on from the shelf. Noting the tears from Rosie's eyes, she slowly made her way to the toy shop window and placed her hand on her shoulder while staring at Ballydoll with a firm glare.
Looks are not everything, Ballet Doll, and quirks make us who we are. You're every little bit of lovely, just as you are. But I don't know who I am, Angel Doll. Ballet Doll is right. I'm made of so many different quirks and parts. I'm not sure who I'm meant to be. Even if I were on the shelf, no one would want me. Rosie made from many fabrics. If I were to have washing instructions, how would you know to put me on wool, or cotton, or silk? See, I'm a misfit.
Rosie stood and made her way to the toy shop counter. It was lined with all kinds of toys, from wooden building bricks all brightly coloured and stacked in rows, to bottles of old-fashioned sweets in glass jars with screw-top lids. She ran her hand along the old wooden countertop as she continued.
How I dream of laying under a tree. How my eyes would dance and I would tinkle with excitement. I wouldn't be able to breathe. With the thought of being unwrapped and held as I lay there, waiting, anticipating for the sun to come up and the sound of feet running to the tree to unwrap me, I would feel special and normal.
She said, with a sparkle in her eye.
My dear Rosie, you are loved not only by the shopkeeper, but by the children. Do you not see their eyes, the smiles and laughter as they look at you through the glass?
Exactly, Teddy. Their laughter. Because I'm not like all of you. I don't fit. I'm odd. They laugh at me.
My dear Rosie, you fit like a sausage goes with the mash, like jam goes with bread, like ice cream goes with a barbecue sauce.
Exactement, quirky.
If our Italian tin soldier friend likes barbecue sauce on his ice cream, that's entirely fine. I think I speak for all of us, bar maybe one. We all love you, Rosie.
Teddy reassured her.
Love is rather a strong word, don't you think, Teddy? Love is for fairy tales. I wouldn't say Rosie was loved. She is a familiar sight in a window that gathers sun damage in the summer and frostbite in the winter. She is familiar. However, loved is rather a large word. On the other hand, I do not desire a love that comes and goes. What I desire is to be adored and put on a pedestal for all to admire and cherish and
to fall off. I am sure someone may get a little enthusiastic with the duster and accidentally knock someone off their soapbox in your fine house, Ballydoll, that I am sure will have many maids and house staff, as of course you shall be bought by the regal and the wealthy.
Tin Soldier said with a growl of disgust in his voice towards Ballydoll's harsh remarks.
Indeed, you have exactement the right idea, my tin soldier. I shall be bought by someone of stature and passed to generations, delighting for decades to come.
Christmas, that you can guarantee. With pointed toes and my fine clothes, all wrapped and under the tree. I'll be sold for Christmas. Of that you can be sure. We'll be sold
was a Billy Bennet. Stupendo, fantastico, magnifico. Incredible. Davvero? I can hardly believe it, my Christmas wish.
I'll have fame. Oh, what a shame. When on the shelf you'll stand. Soyez silencieux.
Per favore, silenzio.
You can guarantee I'll be gone for Christmas. That will be my dream.
How do you know about that?
It is pretty obvious we do not see eye to eye, Tin Man.
You are Natalie Family Belch.
La bouche, your French is horrible.
The toy shop floor was awash with feelings. As Ballydoll was outspoken, and the little Tin Man defended his special friend from the window. Amidst all the hullabaloo, a small, squeaky voice was heard, as Cheddar's, or Clockwork Mouse, as the shopkeeper knew him, squeaked a request from the end of the shelf.
Someone, please wind me up.
Teddy slowly sauntered over, and taking the large shining gold key in his big furry hands, he wound it slowly. Each turn made a creak and a groan, as each movement caused a little more life to rattle its way around Cheddar's finely tuned mechanisms.
Thank you, my fine friend. The momentum often winds down in these evenings. I have been so wound up and down today. The number of children playing with me today, and they're delighted to see me scuttle all over the floor. I was so sure I would end up going out the door with some family tonight. Oh well, the laws of probability, I am sure, will come into play, as the percentage of yesterday's playtime has significantly increased since this time last week. Therefore, the odds of being sold by next week are always increasing.
You're so precious, little Clockwork Mouse. You always see the bright side of life, albeit through the complicated numbers and thoughts you have. Your intellect is far superior to any of ours. I just know you'll delight someone's toy box this year. I've watched many a toy being handcrafted and loved to life, then sold, and the smiles on the children's faces.
See, my lovely Rosie, you would not get to see those moments, the new creation of toys, if you were sold.
Teddy explained.
Yes, but I long to be just like you all. What does it feel like to be up on the shelf, for sale, or on the top of the tree? Like Angel Doll will be. How will it be to be wrapped and taken on an adventure, to ride in a basket of a bike, or the back of a motor car, or bounce around in the backpack on the way to the park? Where are you all going? Whose child's eyes are you going to look into?
Angel Doll held Rosie's hands tight as they sat with their backs against the toy shop counter.
Oh, Rosie, I would imagine that it would be very exciting, wherever we all end up. But my destiny is to be placed on top of a Christmas tree, and there I will sit and watch the festive season unfold and look on at all the decorations and toys. But then, I may be packed away in my box. I don't want to be packed away in the attic, in a closed box.
Angel Doll spoke softly, with a troubled tone in her voice.
Oh, Christmas decorations, I hear, get ever so dusty in their boxes. So much so, I have heard many come through here, saying of how they have to dust off their Christmas decorations. You will certainly have your fame for a few weeks, but your destiny, my Angel, is to stare at the inside of a box for most of the year. But do not worry, you will see the light as the winter approaches. I am sure there are not really bugs in the loft, and they have much better insulation now with all the government grants, so you shouldn't get damp and moldy. Well, to start with, certainly. And, Angel, even if you do, again, there are many detergents that can be used to scrub mold off those delicate silk dresses. You see, using a positive attitude like our friend Cheddar's, you can see the joy in the box, the cold, the mold, and the scrubbings, no?
Ballydoll sneered, with a sarcastic and unkind tone in her voice. Angel Doll's face turned even whiter than the beautiful porcelain that she was. She started to feel sick to her stomach, and her heart fluttered in her chest as she began to panic. Cheddars rushed to her rescue, standing defensively in front of her, as she said in a strong and courageous voice to Ballydoll, who was now admiring herself in the cold glass of the shop window.
Technically, not all people pack away Christmas decorations in the loft now. There are all these lovely bright Christmas storage solutions. The probability she may arrive at a family that desires to spend money on good storage is quite likely, and even then she may be adored by one of those Christmas obsessives who have Christmas daily, and then she will have fun every day of the year. Practically speaking, Ballydoll, we never do know what home she will end up in. But it is better to think with a PMA than a negative one. It does things to the branches in the sub-hemisphere of the brain to think negative.
Sub-hemisphere?
Questioned Angel Doll, starting to calm down, listening to the reassuring tones of Cheddars. Tin Soldier added in his comical tone, making the toys all giggle.
What our fine and Cheddars is trying to say here is, keep your chin up a chicken. You really don't know what eggs are in your basket.
From the recesses of the toy shop, suddenly a familiar noise was heard, as the footsteps of the shopkeeper, unexpectedly, were heard returning to the back door. The toys all looked at one another as Teddy exclaimed,
The shopkeeper's coming. Scramble, toys, scramble.
For when the shopkeeper and the shoppers were around, the toys were not to be seen to be living. They must stay still and silent, as frozen as snowmen on a cold winter's day.